I'm Abigail Russell, 32, and I've been running our family's small real estate company in Albuquerque, New Mexico for 6 years. I poured everything into it, my savings, my time, my sanity, to keep it afloat. But at a family dinner, everything changed. My dad leaned forward, his voice calm but firm, and said, "We think it's best you step away for now." My mom nodded, her eyes avoiding mine. My aunt chimed in, her tone sharp. "It's time for your brother to take over." The room went quiet. My heart pounded, but I forced a smile. "Understood," I said, my voice steady. "I'll respect that. And I'll step away from the company's funds, too." Their faces froze. They didn't expect that. What happened next flipped our family upside down. They thought they could push me out, but they had no idea what was coming, or what I'd uncover about their plans. 6 years ago, I took over our family's real estate company. It wasn't much, just a small office, a few listings, and a lot of debt. My parents, who owned shares, had no interest in running it. Neither did my Aunt Gloria. They handed me the keys and said, "You're good with numbers, Abigail. You handle it." So I did. I sank every dollar of my savings, $40,000, into keeping the lights on. I paid the rent for our office on Central Avenue, covered property taxes, and even bought a small plot of land to flip for profit. That was my first year, and it never got easier. I worked 60-hour weeks negotiating with buyers, chasing down contractors, and balancing the books. Every deal I closed kept us afloat. I didn't take a salary for the first 2 years. Every cent went back into the company. Meanwhile, my brother Jonathan treated it like his personal ATM. He'd show up all smiles, asking for loans to cover his lifestyle. A new truck, $15,000. A weekend in Vegas, $2,000. I bailed him out of gambling debts 3 times, totaling $28,000. I kept a spreadsheet, not to hold it over him, but to track where my money went. He never said thank you. Not once. Dad and Mom didn't care. They'd shrug when I mentioned Jonathan's spending, saying, "He's young. He'll figure it out." Aunt Gloria was worse. She'd roll her eyes and say, "You're too controlling, Abigail." Controlling? I was the one keeping the company alive. Without my cash, we'd have lost the office years ago. But I didn't push back. They were family, and I thought, that's what you do. Carry the load. No questions asked. The first big red flag came 3 years in. Jonathan needed $5,000 for car repairs. I wired the money only to see him post photos of a new sound system on social media. When I confronted him, he laughed it off. "Relax, it's just business," he said. My money wasn't his playground, but I let it slide, telling myself I was helping the family. Dad called me after, his voice soft. "Don't be so hard on him, Abigail." Mom echoed, "He's trying. Trying to bleed us dry." Year 4, I bought another property, a fixer-upper in the Northeast Heights. It cost me $30,000 of my own money to secure the deal. The profit, $60,000, went straight into the company to cover payroll and taxes. Jonathan didn't lift a finger, but he still asked for a bonus to cover a trip to Miami. I said no for the first time. He stormed out, and Mom called me that night. "Why can't you just help him?" Help him? I was holding up the entire family. By year 5, I was exhausted. I'd paid off $70,000 in company debt, negotiated 10 major sales, and kept our reputation intact. Clients trusted me, not the family name. But at home, I was invisible. Dad would talk about Jonathan's potential like he was the one closing deals. Aunt Gloria would hint I was too involved in the business, like I was hogging the spotlight. The truth? They didn't want to know how much I was carrying. My savings were gone. Over $100,000 poured into the company. I hadn't taken a vacation, hadn't bought myself anything. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment so I could keep the business running. Jonathan's spending got worse. Last year, he racked up $12,000 in credit card debt, claiming it was for business expenses. I checked the statements, restaurants, clubs, a new watch. I covered it again because Dad begged me to keep the peace. I started to feel like a stranger in my own family. They didn't see me as Abigail, the one who kept the company alive. They saw me as a resource, someone to lean on without ever asking what it cost me.